My guest this morning on Jersey Magazine is Dave Muti from 101 Mobility in northern New Jersey. Dave is the owner. Dave, welcome. Tell our listeners about, first of all, your company, 101 Mobility.
Sure. No, I appreciate it, Jim, and thanks for having us on. Yeah, we help people age and remain in the home safely. We work with the elderly and the disabled. Anything from a single grab bar to help someone steady themselves in the bathroom, to chair lifts to get up and down between the floors in the house, wheelchair ramps to get into the house safely. We've been doing this since 2017, and we are really the experts to help people age in place.
I was telling you before we came on the air, both my wife and I have dealt with aging parents. In both our cases, it was our respective moms, and you're when the kids are little, you kind of baby proof the house. As you're dealing with an aging parent, it's kind of the reverse, but you're doing the same thing, making sure railings are safe, towel bars in a bathroom should someone try and balance themselves on that. There's a lot of things that you need to be aware of.
Correct. Towel bars are one of the telltale signs that if you walk into your parents' bathroom and you have a towel bar or even a toilet paper holder that's loose, that means they're using that to steady themselves getting up and down from a toilet or in and out of a shower. And those are not meant for that. And that is just a fall waiting to happen. And bathroom falls, I believe, are the number one cause of death in the home across the country. So anything to help people get steady on their feet, that's what we do.
I was just about to ask you, what are some of the most common things that you need to be aware of in the
Sure.
home?
Sure. So in the staying in the bathroom, like I said, just said, if someone's got a loose towel bar, a loose towel, toilet paper holder, the sliding door on the showers off its rollers, that is all signs that someone's using those items to steady themselves. On a staircase, if you have a staircase like a lot of condominiums have, where it's a split level and you have, kind of two small seven step staircases to a middle landing, if there's a chair on that middle landing, that's a clear sign that mom or dad can't make the full set of stairs without, sitting down to catch their breath again. Same thing if there's a lot of marks on the walls that are trying to steady themselves and there's not really the proper railings on that staircase. Again, another clear sign that mom and dad may have an issue getting up and down those stairs.
With your company, 101 Mobility, what are some of the biggest things that you do in terms of fixing up homes?
Yeah, so what we do actually doesn't really require a whole lot of construction. We can be in and out of the house in as little as half hour to an hour with some of the small things we do. Some of the bigger projects, if we're doing a huge ramp installation, for instance, we're done in a matter of 3 4 hours, depending on the size of the ramp. If we're doing some of the wheelchair lifts, that might take a day or so to put some of those pieces of equipment in. But we're really going to make sure there's no tripping hazards at the threshold walking in and out of a house. Again, getting on a staircase or just being steady in the bathroom, or sometimes even in the kitchen. We have a floor to ceiling grab bar. If you've ever ridden the subway, you hold on to one of those bars on the subway. Very similar to that. Looks a lot nicer. Those go in a matter of seconds, actually minutes, but those are the kind of things that we do every single day. It's our bread and butter.
You and I were talking before we came on the air about a New Jersey home improvement contractors law that's going to take place, a change in the law that's going to take place in March of 2025. What's involved in those changes with that, Dave?
Sure. So New Jersey's got about 45,000 what's called home improvement contractors or HIC licenses. And you have to see that anyone has their trucks, you see an HIC number on there. And that's just regulated by the Department of Consumer Affairs. And they've decided to, based on some ill actors in the industry who've taken money, they decided to pass this bill that will take effect in March. That, in my opinion, upon my reading of it, is going to put the vast majority of contractors out of business. They don't know it's coming. It was kind of done, I guess, under the cloak of darkness without much publication to it. And it has bonding requirements, but the one of the number one things is if you've been in business for less than 5 years, this bill puts you out of business. Those who've been in business for 5 years or longer might be able to qualify to remain in business if, in fact, you can prove that you've been in business for 5 years, that you've managed a minimum of a $120,000 contract and two sub trades. I'm sorry, but most of the contractors in this state who are trying to earn a living for their families, we call them chucking a truck. They work out of their house or out of their garage, maybe one or two employees. They're not managing contracts that large. The average contractor has a contract between maybe 10 and 50,000. So it's going to put the vast majority out of business.
You mentioned getting licensed. How difficult is that process?
So currently the process, yeah, it is a little easy. You apply, you pay a few $100s a year. You have to prove that you have insurance, both workers' compensation as well as general liability, and that needs to be disclosed on every single contract that we have out there, which we do. So this new law not only has a change in that licensing, badge IDs that have to be issued twice a year by the state with photographs. Every job now has to be bonded. A company like myself that does 500 contracts a year, I can't take out 500 bonds a year. The law is very murky about this. When I called to ask, no one knew what to do yet. They just said they haven't told us how we're going to enforce the law or how to comply with the law. We're hoping they tell us soon.
Home improvement fraud is one of the most widespread types of consumer fraud here in New Jersey. What are some of the things that homeowners can do to protect themselves, Dave, from home improvement scams?
That's a great question. And it's really, if you think about it and take a step back, it's just common sense. If you're going to hire someone to watch your kid, are you going to just hire someone off the street? Of course not. You can do a background check. Who is this person? Whether referred. So the best way to hire any contract is through a referral. Ask your friends, ask your family, who have you hired recently? Have you had a job done? Are you happy? Today we have the internet, Google reviews, there's Trustpilot, there's a bunch of different review sites. Look into some of those reviews. It's really simple. Call the Better Business Bureau, see if there are any complaints filed against them. If someone has those things, if they don't have their license number on their contracts and provide you with a copy of insurance that's required by the Consumer Affairs, then don't hire that contractor. It's really, if you just do that, never give someone money that knock on your door, you're not going to get scammed. People who get scammed give money away without checking, and the contractors don't have those credentials.
And you probably should never pay cash either, I would imagine.
I wouldn't pay cash. You can pay check. You can always stop payment on check, credit card. You can reverse payment and file a complaint. And definitively, paying cash is there's no record of that. But again, if you just take your time, slow down, and just do some due diligence, just really common sense due diligence, bad actors are going to continue to be bad actors. This bill is not going to stop that. So it's going to punish the hardworking families. A lot of these guys who started because of COVID were laid off. Some of these guys we put out of business and they started a business in the COVID aftermath.
As you were mentioning word of mouth, I was thinking we have a number of town-based Facebook pages, and every so often you'll see somebody say, "Hey, I'm looking for a recommendation for this, that, or the other thing," and then you see all of the names pop up. So it is a great way
100%.
to find someone.
If a contractor doesn't have an address, don't hire the contractor. You should be able to physically visit where that contractor is. If a contractor is not willing to tell you where his office is or where his house is, stay away. It's really that simple. You should be able to knock on a door, see what their place of business is. And again, it might be run out of the garage. Nothing against people who are small business owners, but they should have some place that you can come visit and see who they are.
Dave Muti, the owner of 101 Mobility of Northern New Jersey, with family and friends stopping by over the holiday season. It's a busy time, and maybe it's the first time you've seen an elderly relative in a while, and you're noticing, well, they're not getting around the way they used to. So, for listeners who want to learn more about your company and maybe what they can do, where can they go?
Sure, I appreciate that, Jim. There's actually two sites. We're 101 Mobility of Northern New Jersey. So if you go to 101mobility.com, that's the way to find us. We're a national franchise and the largest franchise in the country that helps people that are elderly and disabled. Or if you want to get something a little bit more directly to us, easier to find us, just go to njgrabbars.com. Again, njgrabbars.com, and that'll give you a form to fill out. Call our office. Our number's on there as well.
And the 101mobility.com, I should point out, is the numbers 101mobility.com. Dave,
That is
thank you
correct.
very much for your time this morning here on Jersey Magazine. It's been very informative.
Hey, Jim, I do appreciate it and I look forward to anything else we can help you with.